but be my therapist today because Steiny's not here.
I'll try.
And I gave him a victory lap. He said he thought something was going to come down this weekend. Count the bucket. Evan, what made me believe? Is it Twitter, social media? What made me, not you, Shasky and the rest of us, believe that the king might say, you know what? I could go to Golden State. We might not win it, but I'm going to have some fun playing with the chef. That's why I feel like a fool, man. And I wasn't born in April.
Well, I don't think you're the only one that feels disappointed. And this was, again, something I believe we expected. Not him choosing Philly. I didn't have him going there. I didn't have him coming to the Warriors either. I thought he was going back to Cleveland.
I had Philly.
And I thought it was because it was a combination of all the things he was talking about. But in the end, and this is the way I feel about it, basketball won out. To your point about a starting five that looks like it's the best in the NBA.
One of them. Wow.
Certainly the most star power in basketball.
KD Warriors.
Basketball won out for LeBron James. He took $4 million a year with a player option to go to the Philadelphia 76ers because at the end of the day, Bob Myers' pitch on Rich Paul and Max Kellerman's podcast about it being the best place to play basketball, that's what won out. And I think that's what's disappointing about Golden State is that people were hoping that he could come in and, like we were talking about in the crossover, be a savior for a season that people right now are wondering what's going to happen.
So are you okay, or do you feel like, and I know it's early, Dub Nation is mad, there's anger, there's ire, there's just, because it felt like they went all in. Kenny Rogers, the gambler, and now talking to you, Shasky and Lubman, I'm like, if you're holding on to those first-round picks, maybe that's why you didn't go get Jaylen Brown. Or maybe Shasky was right. They didn't want Jimmy Butler. But I don't know what Boston is doing. And the reason I bring them up is it looks like they're cutting costs. And Jimmy's contract would have came off. I don't think they're better now without Jaylen Brown. So maybe that Jimmy Butler could have been attractive because it was about the Benjamins. But, Ev, why do I feel like and why am I hurt? I have anger because now you're telling me to get ready for a season from a team that doesn't know, if I'm quoting you correctly, what direction they're headed.
Well, let me ask you this. And 888-957-957. Again, LeBron James signs with the Philadelphia 76ers, 2 years, $8 million. What is the Bay Area's reaction? That's what we're going to be talking about today at 888-957-957. We almost got full lines. We'll get to you in just a little bit. But I got to ask you, why are you feeling the ire, the anger that you're talking about?
Because I feel like we are about to embark on a repeat of last year. And now this team goes to Steph Curry and his runners needs to go. And I think that's not fair. I wanted him to have another, even at 41, superhero. I think he deserves that. And now we're a one-trick pony with Yaxel. It's cute, and I like Yaxel, but that's too much pressure on the young man. And I'm not saying he's going to shy away from it. But again, you asked me the question, and I won't take forever. The bottom line is LeBron, to me, made Steph Curry's life on the court easier, and I thought that could equate with those minds along with Dre to where we avoid the play-in, and that's a lower standard.
Yeah, see, I think it's disappointing, it's frustrating, it is enraging to some people because LeBron told the Warriors what we've all been afraid to say out loud, and that's they're not good enough.
Except Steiny.
Well, they're not good enough right now.
Man.
They're not good enough with Steph, with Draymond, with Porzingis, with Horford. He saw that team that won 37 games last year, and he said, even as great as I believe I am at 42 years of age, I'm not good enough to take that team to where I want to go. And yes, he chose an easier location. He chose the easy path. He's also done that every single step of his career. But the idea that the Warriors, having done nothing, and that's what we can get into also. Did they try to do anything to court LeBron James? To me, the frustration is that they felt that doing nothing was going to be good enough. And LeBron James brought a hammer that is reality, that the Warriors right now are not good enough, even with him, to take basically this franchise back to where it once was, which was the top.
Man, you got me thinking about those days. I'll say this to that, too. We heard Mike D. We heard Steve Kerr talk about turnovers and, this newfound focus on being a grown-up on the basketball court. So now that the dust is settled, you brought back the guys that I mentioned, Melton, Horford, and Porzingis, and those guys have question marks just in regard to health And now you're telling me and Dub Nation to expect something better or greater when all you did was basically run it back.
Well, they still have to decide on Draymond Green. They still have to decide on 3 other roster spots. But you're right. It looks like they're going to run it back. And that's another part of it, too. The LeBron free agency sweepstakes, decision, whatever you want to call it, was the only thing preventing them from running it back. I just think this entire offseason, they've kind of told us, like, they're okay with this. And that's frustrating, Goo, because what they're okay with is, to me, a basketball team that's going in the opposite direction.
Man, Evan, you're my therapist again today, and I'm going to run this by you, and you just tell me quickly what you think. And Steiny said it, and I got to give him credit. He said, Goo, you want LeBron for the wrong reasons. And you know what? I'm scared to, and I'm confessing to you, I think he's right. Dub Nation needed to win. I wanted somebody to choose us. I wanted us up all on the shows with the king. You going to this 41 home games and maybe more in the offs. So what kind of advice would you give me that I just wanted to win? We wanted something to feel good about.
Well,
would you call me spoiled?
Well, but, you go on a blind date, you want it to be Halle Berry. But the reality is there's only one of those. And that's, to me, the LeBron James allure. It allowed us to dream, but that's what it was. It was a dream. A dream. It
was all a dream, Biggie.
Of 95-7 to James. That's what the dream was going to be. Us going to Chase Center, covering this guy, covering this team. But the reality, too, was good. There was no guarantee for it to work. And that's where I think LeBron finally came down on a decision that the most likely place for him to contend was going to be in Philadelphia. And I don't know if the Warriors finished second. I don't know if they finished fifth, but it doesn't matter, because just like we were talking about it yesterday in the conference room, we're meeting with the sales staff. Someone asked you who came in second in the lucky break competition. Who finished up second to the Goo? I don't know.
Showtime, yeah.
But it doesn't matter who finished second because the choice that LeBron James made was not the Warriors. He didn't choose Steph. He didn't choose Draymond, who opted out to try and create space for him. He chose a team that got aggressive this offseason, that pounced on maybe the most talented player available outside of Giannis.
28 a game last year, Jalen.
And they got LeBron as a result of it.
So what does this look like on the ledger of Mike Dunleavy? Let's just keep it real.
I can't blame
the Bob Myers thing is making it worse for me, Evan. But he was here.
I can't blame you. Can't blame Mike for this.
I'm not saying that, but doesn't that come with the territory?
No, absolutely not.
We would be kissing his feet had the Warriors, and rightfully so.
And why would we be kissing his feet?
Because they got it done.
No, it's because it was a nearly impossible task to pull off. This would have been pulling a rabbit out of a hat. Based on the information we have now and the breadcrumbs that have been leading up to this, along with all the other, if there's anything that you could blame Mike Dunleavy for, it would be other inaction. It would be not trading for Anthony Davis. It would be not spending first-round picks.
That's tough.
But to me, that would be an unwise decision. The Warriors don't know where they're going. That's another part of this summer that I think we've been slapped in the face by. Shasky said it, uncharted waters. And you cannot sacrifice your future, in my opinion, when you don't know where you're going. And I think that LeBron James by himself would have been a great acquisition. I wanted him to come here.
Yeah.
I would have loved LeBron and the Warriors.
And just for business, that part of it. Oh, my God, the Bay.
100%. But this was the thing about it. To me, I always looked at it as a package deal. You remember when the Los Angeles Clippers gave up everything for Paul George?
Yeah, I remember.
That was because they also had an understanding that Kawhi Leonard was coming with him. Wow. It was a package deal to give up all those first-round picks and a future MVP and champion in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. This, to me, was a smaller scale version of that. It was, we're going to give up first-round picks, our future, for an Anthony Davis to get LeBron James in here with
Evan,
him.
I would have did it. And I know you can laugh and say you're not a GM Goo, but it's Kenny Rogers, the gambler. You got to go all in. We'll build our future when Steph is out. And when I go back, and I'm going to do it, Wiseman, Moody's a solid player, but he's not what we thought he was going to be, like a Maxey or one of those type of guys. And then Kuminga, what that ended up being, that's why Dub Nation's thirsty. We were thirsty, and LeBron was the last person to dance with at the club to get a number, and we were thinking, oh, maybe. And now he's going to Philly, and where does that leave us?
Yeah, but if you're at the club at the end of the night, you've already had all these women say no to you, and you think the last one at the bar, who is a dime, by the way, is going to say yes, but then all of a sudden, here comes Denzel Washington.
It is prime.
Here comes the Rock. Here comes a team. Here comes a guy out of the blue who has way more than you do, and you know it. And you're just hoping, you're praying that
you
he
feel
picks
bad
you.
on the drive home.
You do, but at some point, I think today is about disappointment. Today is about the disaster right now that looks like an off season. But I think that down the line, people are going to wake up and realize that if they had gone all in for LeBron James, that could have done way more damage than what right now is staring them in the face.
I love that, and I'll throw this at you, and real quick, tell me if it's fair. Can I now look at Bob Myers for whatever his reasons were, because he went back to work. He said he wanted to be with the family. He went back to work, and this is how I feel. I wonder, am I by myself when I say, is he the one that got away? And if he were at the helm here, would we have closed this deal? Is that fair to just question?
I think it's absolutely fair.